This is an update to my personal journey to finding myself on a missing child flyer. Timeline of events since posting photo evidence that I am Alicia Smalley. The unprovoked lies that they tell. Sunday, March 26, 2023. I get a message from a random Facebook friend. This is not a client of mine or anyone I've ever worked with personally. I do not know them. They tell me the people that I mentioned in the video that I said tried to harm me reached out to him along with a cousin of Alicia Smalley. This person is Rachel Roa, who I explained in the previous video. I was raised as my sister. And the cousin of Alicia Smalley, allegedly, we will call her C. Just let me make it clear that I have never had any contact or spoken to this person, C, of Alicia Smalley. Let's take a look at the screenshots to a random person. It is extremely important that you pause and read them through. Let's take a look at some key points in this message. The first lie is the I, because I have never spoken to her. If there was any messages between me and this cousin C, cousin of Alicia Smalley, where are the messages? The only person that initially reached out to me was an alleged nephew and alleged sister of Alicia Smalley. This person C has no idea what I have been doing because she has never spoken with me. Second lie. We reached out to our liaison. Pay attention to that sentence there. I just would like to know if that you reached out through our liaison. Why didn't you do that before you contacted me? Why didn't you forward the video to the liaison, caseworker, and detective immediately before contacting me? They are police, and they could have found me through social media, which is why I went public with my personal experience so they could find me. Pay attention to the part that says, after further review, she decided that she was going to contact the people from the previous video who I said were very dangerous, kidnapped me, sex trafficked me, and abused me and tried to murder me, to ask them who I was. Despite the DNA evidence in the video she watched several times, allegedly, that proves that these people are not my biological family. She also said, I did not give my name. This is also a lie, because at the end of the previous update video, I included every single name that I've ever been under in the United States of America. Location. This part is true. I would not give my exact location because I explained to the family of Alicia Smalley that the people that took me are trying to kill me to cover up the kidnapping and steal an inheritance that was also mentioned in the notice of investigation section of the last update video. She actually proves my point with this one. If I'm telling you these people are dangerous and I trust you with my location, you do exactly what you did. You contact the people who I said have tried to murder me to cover up the kidnapping of Alicia Smalley, which has also been documented on YouTube for months, the murder plot against me, okay? And this was documented before seeing my face on a missing child flyer. So I'm not sure why, if your family is missing a child and I am claiming to be a child with physical evidence of being this child, would you feel the best course of action would be to contact the people who the child with solid physical evidence said tried to hurt them? Valid phone number? That will be debunked shortly. Take a look at the part where she says the family states mental illness. I found my face on a flyer, and I guess someone's saying that someone abused them, or in my case, multiple people abused me, is mental illness, because all I am doing is telling the truth of my personal story. Take a look at the part of the message where she says, we have given all this information over to the police. So basically, you went to the kidnappers and asked them who I was and took what they said to the police. My evidence is rock solid. Nothing that I say is made up. You would have to be blind not to see the evidence that I am presenting to the public. But let's keep moving. She states what make her question is that I said the family that I have known for all these years tried to kill me. I'm not sure what about me seeing my face of a missing child flyer and pointing out the people who did it and tried to kill me does not make sense. If they kidnap me and I tell, they go to jail. Let me ask you something. Do you really think they want to go to jail? I am the evidence. So if they kill me, there is no evidence. But I guess that doesn't make sense to someone who grew up in a loving family who wasn't abused. And if they were abused, not to the extent of abuse that I have endured. Now, pay attention to the part where she says they offered to fly me out. Do I really need to give an explanation why I wouldn't fly out or give a location at this point? I don't think so. Not trusting people because of trauma is not an excuse. It is just me protecting myself. They don't know me. I do not know them. Let's take a look at some more slides. Saturday, March 25th, 2023, 6:51 p.m. This is a message between C, the alleged cousin of Alicia Smalley, and the representative for the criminal crime family, Rachel Roa and Elsa Roa. Keep in mind, Elsa and Rachel Roa are speaking to the family, directly to the family of Alicia Smalley after I publicly posted my ancestry laboratory results, not proving that I am Alicia Smalley, but proving that I do not belong to the people who raised me. It is important that you take a moment to look at the text. First lie. My biological sister. She is presenting herself to the family of Alicia Smalley as my biological sister after the DNA analysis from Ancestry.com has been posted publicly online, proving that I do not belong or have any biological ties to this family. Second lie. Has been scamming on social media, going around asking for donations for a DNA test to prove that I am Alicia Smalley. I have never asked for any donations for Alicia Smalley. I have a social media platform in which my interactions are publicized. Everything is recorded. The evidence is in the videos. Lie number 3, perpetuation as if I am a missing person. As we go back over the evidence that is clearly not in my mind that everyone can visually see, you will understand that this is a lie as well. Lie number 4, slanderous videos. Nothing in the video is slander. It is my personal truth and experiences with these individuals. What is deforming or deformating is the abuse that you all have worked so hard to cover up as mental illness. Lie number 5. She is telling people that I contacted the family of Alicia Smalley, harassing them. That will also be debunked here shortly. Lie number 6. Demanding that I go on a talk show. That will also be debunked here shortly. Lie number 7. They requested from me, the family of Alicia Smalley requested from me on multiple occasions for DNA tests and I refused. That will also be debunked shortly. Lie number 8. Going through the proper commands. Note, those of you who have been watching me know that I have been on my own with this, going through the proper commands this whole entire time, which is also documented on the YouTube channel. But I'll get back with physical evidence with that as well. Lie number 9, refusal to work with the FBI person. I have been in compliance with all law enforcement agencies concerning the Smalley case, which is also mentioned in the video of the update of me seeing my own face on a missing child flyer, but I'll have physical evidence for you all for that as well. Lie number 10, perpetuation to be Alicia Smalley for donations. Again, every time I interact with the public, it is recorded and the evidence will be shown in the videos on the YouTube channel. Let's move forward. This is more screenshots of Elsa and Rachel, I guess, trying to prove that I'm harassing the Smalley family, but it really won't matter after you take a look at the full messages that I present to you all as evidence. Okay? I'm not sure, though, in this text message who Rachel or Elsa are speaking with right now. They're also doing a video chat in the corner here, and I don't know who either of the people are in the video chat, but I will definitely cover their faces for protection. Make sure that you pause the video. It is extremely important that you look at this documentation and read the text. The documentation sent through the messages during this Facebook phone call, which both people are strangers to me, the documentation is a paternity judgment order without trial. Keep in mind, as I explained in the first video, in the criminal law enforcement family section, Valerie Lane, who worked in the records department for the St. Louis City Police Department, has access or had access to multiple of thousands of records and able to change them at will. Also note Friday the 13th in January 2023, my ex-husband from 10 years ago, who was a part of this criminal law enforcement crime family, showed up at my residence with false documentation on my sons, but I digress. Let's take a look at the paperwork and exactly what it is. This is a paternal judgment without trial. This is not a paternity test. A paternal judgment without trial does not require a DNA test. This means that two people can go in a courthouse and agree that they had sex and created a child. Neither one of the parties denying paternity, nullifying the necessity for a paternity test or a trial. This is due to the fact that both parties agree that the child is there. No DNA test is required with both parents in agreement. Now let's take a look at this picture. This picture is the criminal law enforcement crime family's photo evidence that I am their child. Just this picture. Let's take a look at my photo evidence compared to the family that claims I have mental illness and I am theirs but cannot recognize my own self in a picture. Let's take a moment to go over the previous video I posted on my personal journey to healing and truth. We will get to the update, but first let's look at these key points. Please note, there is only one picture of the missing child, Alicia Smalley, which is a public flyer. Every other picture is, in fact, me. I took the time in the previous video to point out each feature, each facial feature that matches the description of the missing child, myself as the child, and me as an adult. There are more than 9 identical facial features that can clearly be seen, including identifying marks, and all identifying marks on me match and are identical to the missing child. But I guess I have mental illness. Okay, let's take a look at the pictures here. Brown eyes, black hair, right eye discoloration, as well as the gap in the bottom of my teeth in the middle there. There's a gap in the bottom of my teeth right there in the middle. Even my adult earlobes are identical and distinctive as well. Bear with me. I know this is repetitive, but this has to be said for the people in the back of the public courtroom. Let's continue. Let's take a look once more at this missing child flyer. Compare every single feature. Now, let's take a look at the missing child flyer and me as an adult. These details are important as the family that took me are making claims of mental health. Let me ask you all this, the public, something. When you see yourself in a photograph, are you unable to recognize that it is you in the photo? If you see yourself in a photograph as a child, as an adult, do you not recognize yourself in the picture? Exactly. Moving on. In the kidnapper section of the video, I present the evidence that is relevant to my personal experience as a child. The person in the composite sketch from the Grady 6 is Carla Rogers, and I was raised to think that she was my aunt. Here is a picture of my aunt, the person in the composite sketch. Now, a picture of me matching the description of Alicia Smalley. And that same person wanted for kidnapping in the Grady 6 in the same room in 1985. DNA results In this section of the video, it is important to note that there is no mention of Alicia Smalley's mother or father in any way, shape, or form. It is also important to note that the information was never listed on any public news articles or about the missing child or the flyer itself. So there is no way that I was personally able to maintain that information. I mentioned also in the DNA section of the video, the DNA test I was told was taken by the maternal member of the family who took me. Marion Williams stated she had taken an ancestry test, so I decided to take one in order to prove my identity. I had been questioning for years of whether or not they were really my family because of the abuse that I had endured. The results came back and revealed there was no DNA in the system matching me with a mother or father. Marion Williams and Edward Wilson Jr. did not populate. But what I did find was a first cousin on a father's side. Remember the evidence that was shown in the previous video. I asked the first cousin if they had ever heard of any of the names that I grew up with or the parents that raised me. They said no. Here are the screenshots. That proved that my birth records are fake because those people did not populate between myself or any of the people connected to my DNA through Ancestry.com. And there were a lot of matches. No one on that list did I recognize. They were all strangers. These facts are important. Again, due to the claims of mental illness from the family who kidnapped me. The criminal law enforcement family. In this section, I give the identities of the people who raised me. This is my personal truth and experiences with these individuals. I am willing to take a polygraph in order to prove every statement that I present to the public on not this family, but my personal experience. It is my personal testimony, which I am also willing to testify in the court of law as to every word that I have spoken. These are the exact words from my previous video concerning the situation. Quote, "The people that I am about to show you have committed major crimes against myself and humanity, or are holding, at one point in time, high-ranking positions in law enforcement in the city of St. Louis and in the healthcare community. They are very dangerous and they need to be arrested immediately. They are child abusers, sex traffickers, kidnappers, thieves, and murderers, hiding behind the position in which they hold in the community." End quote. Keep this quote in the back of your mind because that is important to what this cousin of Alicia Smalley, C, has done. So now, not only was I in danger, the family of Alicia Smalley is now in danger. Let's call this next section a series of unfortunate events. Saturday, March 18th, 2023. Days after I posted the video of the Alicia Smalley update, I was contacted by a family member of Alicia Smalley, and this is how it went. I was going to keep this information private as this was very upsetting. Unfortunately, I was lied on, so this is why I had to make this public. I have covered up the names and the faces of these people just for their safety and confidentiality. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. Okay? March 18th. This is the alleged nephew of Alicia Smalley. Make sure that you pause to read the text. Now, on the phone call, he tells me, again, that he believes that I am the missing child in question. He tells me that his mother is on the way and she will be there in a few minutes. My first response to him, is there anyone willing to give a DNA test? He responds, yes. His mother arrives really, really soon after that, which is the younger sister of Alicia Smalley. 10 minutes later, I receive an inbox from the younger sister of Alicia Smalley. Let's take a look at that. She immediately starts sending me pictures. She sent me a picture of herself. Pay close attention because, again, this is important due to the claims of me stalking and harassing. Let's take a look at this next text. You'll see here I say, I'm about to call if that's okay. Then we have an audio call that's at 12:25 p.m. Spirit told me to screen record that phone call, but I didn't because I was feeling all kinds of anxiety. I did call her at 12:25 p.m. She missed the call and then she calls me back. We do a Facebook video chat. This is from my personal experience of what happened on the phone call. Keep in mind, I am willing to take a polygraph as everything that I'm speaking out of my mouth is truth. All right, so on the video call, the first thing I asked her was, is there anyone willing to take a DNA test? Is it time sensitive? I'm trying to prove my identity. I explained to her that the people that took me are in law enforcement and they took me and now my children through false paperwork, which is also thoroughly explained in the original video. Keep in mind that video was made 3 days prior, and if I had any information, I would have added it to my video. So I did not have any information, so that automatically debunks any claims of me stalking them, reaching out, or whatever, because I did not know who they were. I did not even know they existed. To be honest with you all, I'm going to tell you that I thought maybe my parents were dead because I know what type of people that I have been dealing with as far as this criminal law enforcement family. So let's keep going. She goes on to tell me that she is my younger sister and the middle child, and there is one more baby sister underneath. And again, I mentioned the DNA test, and I proceeded to tell her before I found myself on a missing child flyer that I had already been talking to a producer from a talk show to get a DNA test from the person who raised me, who ghosted me. The first contact with this producer was after Carla Rogers died. And I asked the person who raised me for a DNA test. At the time of the first contact with the producer, I had no proof other than my inner knowing and had not taken the ancestry test, nor had my daughter and I found my face on a missing child flyer. All of this is documented on social media, except the fact that I had been in contact with the producer for approximately 2 years prior finding the flyer. As a matter of fact, the producer was the one who suggested to get an ancestry to prove that I did not belong to my biological family or the people who raised me, and possibly get a hit to find real family through ancestry. So I did. We kept in touch. I told the middle younger sister of Alicia Smiley that she told me that we can have a DNA test done within 5 days if she agrees. And she continues to tell me more about the family. She tells me my birth mother is alive. She tells me like where she lives at. She tells me who she lives with. She tells me her first, middle, and last name, her maiden name, her married name. And I asked her again, would she be willing to take a DNA test? She said she did not want to tell the mother of Alicia Smiley, as she'd been suffering from alcoholism since the trauma in 1985. She said that regardless of that, that she would go ahead and do a DNA test as a sibling. And I said, okay. We stayed on the phone for a little bit longer, and she began to tell me freely about the family, showing me her kids, telling me that I had a niece whose birthday party was that evening. She said that when they gathered for the party, the family would be present, and she said that she was going to tell her baby sister about it, and she said that she wanted me to go ahead and give her the producer's information, and that she would contact them and then contact me after she speaks with the producer. And I told her I would do the same and also give my contact information and everything as well. And told her that I was going to reach out to the producer to let her know the information and the update on what I have found along my journey way before I even found out that I was on this missing child flyer. Okay. So after the phone call, she immediately starts sending me pictures of other family members of Alicia Smiley. Let's take a look at these Facebook inbox messages so that you guys can know what happened directly after the call. It is extremely important that you pause to read. As you can see, these are the pictures that she was sending me. And I did end up sending her some pictures of my family back. And the reason why I did that is because I don't have anything to hide. And I know that I'm this child. I know me when I see me. So I didn't figure it would be any harm to let them see, hey, look, I'm really this person, you know? All right, so a few days, that could be a day. I think it might be a day or so passes. And basically, I didn't hear anything from her. The producer ends up calling me and she's telling me that they could do a paternity test. A DNA test to see whether or not um, I'm Alicia Smalley by testing the mother after she gets off of the phone. They didn't want to test the sister anymore. So they were willing at first, before I had any information, to test this any family member. But at this point in time, because she found out that the mother was still living, the producer said that it is best to test directly the mother. So at that point, that situation obviously was a no-go because the sisters did not want to let the mother know that I had even existed. So I was really, really, really distraught and I did not know what to do. So what I ended up doing, you guys will see next. All right, so now this is Sunday, March 19th, 2023. The middle sister of Alicia Smiley reaches out to me. I get straight to business. She did not respond after that. It is important to know that I would not have had the information to give the producer had she not provided it. As you can see, I did not reach out to her until 2 days later, March 21st, 2023 at 8:17 p.m. Please take a moment to look at this screenshot. When she did not respond because they wanted to test the mother instead of her, at that point, I was just thinking that she wasn't going to proceed with anything because I didn't hear from her. So, me knowing that this is time sensitive, I decided to send the video out to others in order to draw attention to the situation, to offer my DNA through other means because my life is in danger. These are the direct messages that I sent. Please take the time to immediately pause and read these messages. Notice within the messages, March 19th at 9:16 a.m., she in fact does reach out to me. I just wanted to point that out. I know we're still looking at the messages, but I want you guys to take a look at that as well. Keep in mind that everyone that I sent a DM to, I only sent the video. There was no further commentary. There was nothing else. I just sent the video that was public, and that's it. If no one responded to the video link that I sent, then there was no conversation. I just sent it out. But here's a person here that responded. This is supposed to be a cousin of Alicia Smiley. We're going to call her Lala. Okay? So just note that again, everyone that received an inbox from me received the exact same message, which was simply the link to the video we are discussing now. All right? So all I do is send the video. There's no conversation beyond that unless they respond to the link of the video. I have a screenshot evidence of that as well. I received a message back in response to the video link from two individuals. Let's take a look at these conversations. Again, bear with me. The reason why I'm showing you this is because they are trying to say that I harassed and I have mental illness and all this other stuff. So let's keep going. All right, so we're going to talk about what happened during the phone call because you guys can clearly see what happened during the text. So basically, the phone call was via Facebook video chat, and she was just staring at me, and she was like shook, okay? She was telling me how she knows it's me by my forehead, okay? I again offered my DNA to her and letting her know that my life is in danger and that it is time sensitive. I explained to her the same exact thing that I explained to the sisters. When I first had the notion that the person that I was raised by was not my mother, I took the ancestry DNA test and I proved that she was not. So now I just need to prove my identity. She told me that she was the matriarch of the family and that she would take it upon herself to show the mother of Alicia Smiley the video. She offered to fly me out. I immediately told her that I do not trust people because of the abuse that I have endured. She told me that she would figure this out. I immediately told her that I do not trust people because of the abuse that I have endured. She told me that she would figure this out somehow and we would somehow get my DNA to the proper authorities. I told her that I have been documenting my journey for a while now on my YouTube channel. because I felt like, the people who raised me were not my family. She asked me to send the link to my YouTube channel and my contact info. Keep in mind, my YouTube channel has been active since April 29th, 2017, which is now to date 6 years old. Before I had any knowledge of my face being on a missing child flyer, those of you all who have been watching me know my channel has nothing to do with crime, missing children cases, or anything like that. I sent her the link to the page via the same original video of the update of me finding myself as Alicia Smiley. She also asked for my contact number as well. She said that she would speak to me tomorrow and let me know how we're going to go about the DNA. I forgot to send my contact information, so I sent it the next day. And I went on my day without hearing anything back. And it'd been like, a long time, pretty long time. It was like all day and like late at night or whatnot. So I went to basically say, hey, are we going to move forward with the DNA or anything of that nature? And then Facebook Messenger said that she was no longer available on Messenger. So I assumed that she wasn't going to do the right thing either, as far as telling the mother that I would offer my DNA immediately. When I saw that, I also figured the offer to arrange DNA testing and fly me out and all the other stuff was off the table. So at this point, I went back to the sister to see if she had blocked me as well, and she had not. So I didn't understand why they reached out to me directly if they weren't willing to move forward with the DNA process. Take a look at the bottom of the screen and you will see there that it says this person is unavailable on Messenger. And this is after the offer to fly me out. So when I reach back out to the sisters, I actually do send a text, and that's what you guys are going to be looking at right now. So we're going to call this the honesty text, okay? I'm going to actually read this one out to you guys instead of having you guys pause and read. I said, I'm not sure why you contacted me if we're not going to move forward with the DNA or let the mother of Alicia Smiley know about the video. I've been dealing with this all my life, being in the wrong family. I don't want to come in and change anything for anyone. As I said, I am already established. I feel like my emotions and my feelings have not been considered when you guys decided to contact me as this child. This has been extremely hard for me, fighting this battle all by myself, advocating for myself. I just want to bring closure to myself. That is the reason I went public, identifying myself as this child. I had nothing to do with you or your family because I did not even know y'all existed. It had everything to do with my personal journey and where it led me. I do not know you or anything about your family. If you guys don't want to do the DNA test or let her know that I exist, all you got to do is let me know and I'll cut contact from you guys and we can stop here. So she then says, we contacted you because you are using our sister's picture, and that's why. My family has offered to get you here, and we have no contact info on you. We spoke with the missing children's, and they want to test you. And I said, no, that's me in the picture. I'm not using your sister's name. Y'all have my picture. That's me in all those pictures. Those are my identifying marks. That's me wearing the lilac ribbons. That's me in the gold earrings. But y'all came to me. I did not find you. You found me. If you have any doubts, you shouldn't have contacted me and let me finish solving what happened to me personally on my own. Thank you for reaching out, but I'm going to keep it pushing. I immediately offered DNA before our conversation and everything. So at this point in time, I receive a phone call, and I'm going to just show the evidence of my call log here. And it is from Alabama. You're going to be able to see that this number is from Alabama at the same time if you put the two messages together. And I'm going to tell you how this phone call went. As you guys can see through the text message, I'm definitely like, I'll just figure it out because I can figure it out by myself. Like I'll figure it out, because I've been doing this all by myself anyways. So, and I feel like they're not going to tell her that I'm alive. So I'm not going to keep pressing the issue. I'll just keep moving forward, I received a phone call, and this is how the phone call went. First, let me start by saying I was already upset because the only picture of Alicia Smiley that was actually featured in my video was a public fire, and the rest of the pictures were me, and there's like 20 of them. And she said I was using her sister's pictures, but that's me. Okay. But anyways, I get a phone call on my personal line, and that's the screenshot that you guys are seeing. And I'm clearly done with the situation at this point. I'm going to show you guys that as well. I'm sure you guys are wondering why this is relevant, but I'm going to explain it, okay? So the phone call. Immediately, she tells me that she is not the sister and that you know, I'm not talking to her. I'm talking to somebody else. She does not identify herself, but the woman is an elder woman. The voice I can tell is an older woman. Okay. And basically she starts to attack me because some time ago, the mother of the missing child was called to identify a body, and it was not Alicia Smiley's body. And then years later, someone else came forward claiming to be the missing child. They took a DNA test and it did not pan out right, is what she was telling me. Okay. So whoever this was did ask me, had I contacted the authorities, and I responded, absolutely, since the day I found my face on that missing child flyer. I told her that I understand her frustrations and tried to explain to her that this is something that is equally as hard for me, as the people who took me have worked very hard to try and kill me to cover this up. I tell her the reason the DNA did not pan out with the other people is because they are looking for a specific DNA for a specific person, and is only unique to that person. So you could literally test 1 million people, and if the DNA is not that person, it's not going to pan out every single time unless you have that person. But let's keep moving. At that point, that lady became irate and I was upset as well. So I decided to end the conversation. As you guys can see here on the slide, I hang up. Then she calls me back, okay, immediately. And she tells me, whoever she is, I don't know who this person is, she tells me that if I'm theirs, then I'm stuck with them. And I'm already upset. So I'm not really trying to hear what she's saying at this point, because I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling her, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out. I've been figuring it out on my own. I will handle this or whatever. And she's like, no, if you belong to us, you're stuck to us. She asked for my contact info and the info of the detective that I was dealing with in the Atlanta Police Department. And I provided her with that information. And I also provided her with a phone number. But just notice how they said that they didn't have any contact information. But when we were inboxing each other through Facebook, when I sent the honesty text, she called me on my personal line. So that's a lie right there. And you guys are looking at that right there. Okay, she called me twice on my personal line without me sending a phone call her direction. Okay. So after that, once more, I did end the phone call. And once I ended the phone call, I decided to go ahead and just block them, because it's no point to keep moving forward directly with them if they're not going to tell the mother of Alicia Smiley that I am alive. It's like nothing I can do at this point. So I decided to block them and just keep on, because this is my personal journey. I know what I look like on a picture. You know what you look like on a picture. I can't tell you what you know when you look at your elementary school picture that's you, even if you're 50 years old. You get what I'm saying? So I just was like, I'm done with it. I'm just gonna leave it at that and keep moving forward. So yeah, that's how that went. I ended up blocking them because it's been really extremely difficult for me. Okay, I just felt unheard. I felt like, when I was a child and I was trying to explain the type of abuse that I was enduring and no one would listen to me. Okay, so you guys can see here several times I did offer DNA. There's nothing that I can do if they won't let the mother know, like I said. And I am real. I exist and I have the evidence. Okay. So at this point, I felt like, nobody listening. So it ain't nothing nobody can do to help me, So this is my story. This is my experience. I know who I am. A few days pass and I take a break to rebalance my energies and do some inner healing. And before we get to the conclusion, I do want you guys to just look at the other person that responded, because I only showed you guys one of the people that responded after I sent out a bunch of inboxes just with the link of the video only, no conversation, just the link of the video only. I want you guys to take a look at that slide as well. As soon as he asked me if it's me or whatever, I immediately offer him DNA several times as well. And then I also want you guys to note that in the section where C, the cousin, is talking to the kidnapper family, there's a little snippet of my message there. And I want you to pay attention to how she only screenshot the part where I said, but if she doesn't know, she can't take the test. And I guess that was their proof of harassment there. But I'm going to show you guys the whole entire text here. Make sure you guys pause to read. Make sure you guys, count how many times I offered DNA to these people, and see the truth here. And we're going to get to the conclusion. Let's go. Bullet points of conclusion. If the paperwork, the law enforcement crime family, was correct concerning the paternity judgment with no trial, why is it that a first cousin from a father's side through ancestry never heard of either of the people who raised me? Because the first cousin's mother or father are in fact siblings. They do not know them. All the energy used to work against me, where is the energy used to work with me to solve this crime? If you are a missing person or a family member of a missing person, there should be no contact without the proper authorities. Definitely do not contact the people being accused of taking your loved one, or in this case, your unloved one. Be careful how you handle people. When someone is being abused, do not blame the victim. You need to look into what is being said. The cousin of Alicia Smalley, C, did not think about my safety or the safety of the family of Alicia Smalley. All of you all have been watching, so believe me when I say they are now in danger. Think about safety. Learn how to handle people with care, love, kindness, compassion, and concern. There was no concern for me. # Justice for Alicia Smalley 2023.